Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. John Bodine here with Redemptive Psych, and today we're going to do another typing video. This time we're going to look at actor Christian Bale. Some of you have requested him for a little while now. Christian Bale is a very interesting guy, obviously been around for a long time as an actor, been in some huge movies, some small movies, but every time he's in a movie, he absolutely brings it. And, you know, he's very well known for his pretty extreme transformations, especially physically, his commitment to his craft in the most physical degree. So I'm excited to dig in and look at him. Again, I've pulled out some interviews and some shorts that I haven't seen. We're going to look at them. I'm going to react in real time and do my best to offer analysis and try and figure out his personality type. So we'll start with a little bit of interview here and go from there.
You are not into the hype machine of award season at all, as I recall.
Well, I'm into supporting whatever film I'm doing. You know? Yeah, I'm not into, you know what I mean. Best. It's a tricky thing to apply to, films or acting or whatever. It's not like a 100-meter dash where someone crosses and you go, man, they got it. You know what I mean? It's all opinion.
Wow. Okay. Okay, just right off the bat, we have extroverted thinking in a suspicious slot. I like supporting the film that I'm doing, but does it really matter? Do the awards really matter? Who decides what's good, what's bad? Then he compares it to something he thinks is valid, a 100-meter dash that is measurable, that's obvious, that is consistent. There's no rubric necessarily for judging, during award season. So right off the bat, he is holding in suspicion the validity of basically the process of picking a best actor or picture or whatever during award season.
So I mean, it's not like it's happened very often, but I just chose when it did happen. They got awards talk for the part I did in The Fighter. I just said, yeah, you know what, guys, I'm really not happy doing stuff just for me. Totally happy doing it for the film, but I just do not feel right about getting into any kind of tit for tat, which is basically what you're doing, against other actors. Going, oh, I'm better than you. I'm better. Come on, let's not start doing that. It's if it happens, it happens. That's wonderful, but let's not start subtly pretending that we're better and putting other people down, even if we're not directly saying it. That's what's being said,
So you're very gracious.
Pick me, you know what I mean?
Okay, wow. This guy's interesting. That is informative as he's communicating, but he's also communicating an informative situation of people, kind of behind the scenes, shifting the narrative towards trying to one-up other people in an awards race. It's also TIFE, pretending to say things that don't hurt people's feelings, but we actually say what we mean. Now, you could say he's describing a TE process of managing the perception of how people think about you and your status. That's fair too. But I see informative here. I see some TI and FE.
And doing it, I just don't agree with it. You know what I mean? But I think it also messes up the whole sort of philosophy behind the performance. You're not meant to do a performance in order to win something, right? You're just meant to do it in order to whatever the hell you're doing it for, So yeah, no, I just think really quickly I'd look like such a phony because it's not in me, to be doing that. So yeah. All the best for people who want to do it. I've got nothing against them. It's just not part of what I can do.
So is
more informative as he's describing, kind of going a little bit to this side and then this side and then kind of filling in. His direction of the conversation, it is centered around an idea, basically questioning the validity of the award season, things like that, but he's doing it in an informative way, kind of going here and then here. Also some progression, just sort of shifting, interrupting himself. If you interrupt yourself, a lot of progression types do that. especially progression TI types. They interrupt themselves probably the most. So he also seems initiating. He's comfortable just taking the question, kind of running with it wherever he wants to go. We might be looking at a starter type. Might be looking at an ENTP.
Is there a what you're doing it for, in your case?
Of what I'm doing.
Is there a reason that you get out of bed to go act every when you do?
Because when it's good, it's really good, and when it's not, I fucking hate it, you know. But when it's good, it's a love-hate thing, and it's a love-hate thing for me because of coming from a place where it was actually a responsibility at a young age. Because, you know, for my family, it was just such an unfathomable amount of sudden cash that you could get for doing it that I went. Yeah, well, even though I don't really feel like doing it, I can't really live with myself for not, because it helps my family so much, you know.
Wow, okay. That's FE right there. It's also some SI, but it's at least some FE. The guilt of not being able to provide something that you could easily provide for. The priority is on their care, caring for them, caring about them. Let me help them. Look how easy it would be for me to help them. I can't say no. The unfathomable amount of cash. And as he's describing this, he's really just letting loose his thoughts. He's not trying to present. It doesn't seem like he's trying to present himself in a certain way. There's like this rawness to him, which he's known for, and you can see it here. He's like, he's fine steering into something that's controversial if it's honest. So that's some FE there. More informative, some SI mixed with the duty and the guilt, but also recounting his personal experience. Honestly, guys, I think we're looking at an ENTP. Well, let's keep going.
And so I felt a responsibility to do that. So I come at it from a slightly different point of view. You know, it wasn't something that I said, I went through school going, oh, you know what, I'd like to become an actor. Oh, yeah, I love films. That's what I'm going to try to do. It was something that happened at an early age, and then I went, I can't get out of this because it's really helpful to my family, you know, and so... yeah, no, I must do it. So that's why I've got this like love-hate thing with it. But I actually think the love-hate is quite a healthy thing to have. If all you do is love film, if all you do is love acting, you're just going to imitate what you love, right? It takes people to fucking hate it at the same time to make any sort of change to what they're doing, you know? And to me, that's when, you know, it becomes interesting.
He's just letting loose. It's like interesting statement after interesting statement. Pragmatism, talking about, you know what, you kind of need the love-hate because nothing changes until that process is there. It's also some abstraction as he's describing this, the process of change that requires these forces of love and hate to change. So it's pragmatism that is... abstraction and pragmatism. So we'll stop that one there. Let's go to the next video here.
Marker.
So, how long have you been dreaming about this place?
17 years, since my daughter was 3 years old. I thought it would take about 2 years to do it, to complete, which was obviously totally naive, but so worth it. It's now 17 years. Took a lot longer than expected, but we're going to create an incredible home here for children, and what better cause than that, you know?
What better cause than that is an FE statement. It's how TI users analyze the worth of what they're doing. It's like, I don't know how to evaluate this directly, but like everyone would say this is a good cause. So like, is there a better cause than that? It's like trying to generate FI in reference to how other people would feel about that. The TI-FE statement.
So I'm totally happy that it took this long.
Where did the germ of the idea come from?
Well, I mean, look, I appreciate the question, and first off, I'm incredibly grateful that you guys are here and interested in what we're doing. You know, it's a total obsession of mine, so I really appreciate your interest in it. I don't really understand how anyone could not hear about the need for helping children in the foster community within Los Angeles. We have more foster kids than anywhere else in the United States of America. I'm ashamed to say I didn't know that until 17 years ago, and just felt like, look, if I was there and present at the moment when a child was being taken from their parents and then beyond that split from their brothers and sisters, that of course I think anyone with the most basic human decency would say, I want to step in and I want to help that child. And
Okay. Lots more informative, more progression. These often get confused for each other, but when they're paired together, when they're informative and progression, they're moving all over the place. They're telling this story. He's telling his own story, moving, filling in the context. I see more initiating. I see more informative. This guy, all I can see here is a starter type, more abstraction, more FE. We saw right off the rip in the other interviews, like TE critic, you know, are these awards really valid? Are people, are their processes for thinking through these really legitimate or not? Some FETI statements. So I'm going to stop those there. We'll look at, I have one short here we can look at, and then we'll finish up.
Met Christian. He was extraordinarily thin, having lost an enormous amount of weight for the machinist.
He did call me and say, well, how am I gonna be able to suggest to Warner Brothers that you could play Batman if you're that skinny?
He then proceeded to really try and bulk up.
I was just stuffing my face all day long and lifting heavy weights.
We worked on his muscle tone so we could bring his body to what it needed to be for Batman.
I just listened to what he said about get as big as you possibly can, so that's what I did.
How much weight did you lose for the machinist?
63 pounds.
And then you went balloon back up 100.
Yeah. And eventually went up to like 220 pounds.
Christian showed extraordinary levels of self-discipline and dedication to the role.
What was the timeline?
about 5 months.
It really was. It was a very tight schedule, but I just about managed it before we started filming.
Now I know why you chose him.
Exactly. It's all there.
So there's not a ton there we can use as cutting between a lot of people, but we do see some more informative as he's describing things indirectly, taking things literally, like, oh, you know, he said to get as big as possible, so I'm gonna do that to the nth degree. That is more likely to be a TI user. They take things more literally, and go with it. The self-discipline, people have made the argument that it's like SI Demon with an INTJ being totally obsessed with whatever they're pursuing, and yes, INTJs can do this stuff too, but Christian Bale does it every time. It's like going here to here to here, doing these extreme transformations. It's more likely to be an SI user doing that. I'm not saying it's impossible for an INTJ or an NJ to do that, or an SP. But it's, if you see someone repeat a pattern of behavior, self-discipline and commitment over the course of an entire career, if those pop out the most, you're probably looking at an introverted sensor. So going over again, we saw low TE right off the bat, informative, progression, initiating, TI, FE, abstract. I see Christian Bale as an ENTP, guys. Also developed into his lower functions, into his NI nemesis, his TE critic, giving him the impression looking more like a TJ type, like an NTJ or an ESTJ, maybe an STTP. But no, if you look at the vectors, look at the functions, I think it's all there. So Christian Bale, guys, ENTP, thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.